Good morning, folks. It's day two of Cheltenham. So it's day two of the Cheltenham Festival quiz. If you joined us yesterday, you'll know the score. What it is give you 10 questions relating to that day's the Cheltenham Festival Day 2 race card. So all the questions relate to the races that will be shown today. We'll get to some tips as well for the action later on, and a look back on the tips that I gave out yesterday and how well they performed. So I hope you had a great day yesterday. Another tantalising day in prospect at Cheltenham, and some good racing to come up. So we'll look at that later, but let's first of all get to the quiz itself and batter through these. So question number one for today's quiz. Jockey Charlie Swan won what is now known as the Ballymore Novices Hurdle 3 times in the 90s on which horses? Jockey Charlie Swan won what is now known as the Ballymore Novices Hurdle 3 times in the 90s on which horses? Remember, answers will be given at the end of this, and if you want to have a wee bit of time to think about it, of course you can pause at any stage. Have a wee scratch your head to that. There is obviously, in that, relating to that question, there is one horse that you should get. Famous Cheltenham Festival hero. Okay, so that's question number one. Jockey Charlie Swan won what is now known as a Ballymore Novices Hurdle 3 times in the 90s on which horses? Question number two. Nicky Henderson has only won the Ballymore on one occasion back in 2012. With which horse? Nicky Henderson has only won the Ballymore on one occasion back in 2012. With which horse? Good day yesterday for Nicky Henderson. Couple of winners there, and good performances all round, I would say, with his horses. So he'll be mighty pleased with that. But we'll look at that later on. But which horse did he win the Ballymore? He's only won it on one occasion, and which horse was that back in 2012 that he succeeded with that? Okay, we'll move on to question number three. In 2012 and 2013, the winners of the RSA Chase, now known as the Brown Advisory, provided the following year's winners of the Gold Cup. Name both horses. So in 2012 and 2013, the winners of the RSA Chase, now known as the Brown Advisory, provided the following year's winners of the Gold Cup. Name both horses. Remember both those. One of the 2014 Gold Cup was a bit of a disaster, if I'm being honest, for me personally in terms of betting. But you'll know who the winner is, and has been regarded in years gone by as one of the worst Gold Cup winners in many years. But yeah, it was a multiple festival winner. Okay, so that's question three. Let's go on to question number four. Which now retired flat jockey who started in National Hunt Racing won the Coral Cup, in 1999 on board K. Rawani? Which now retired flat jockey who started in National Hunt Racing won the Coral Cup in 1999 on board K. Rawani? I think I've said that right. I've got it there on the screen for you so you can see it how you please. But which now retired flat jockey who started in National Hunt Racing won the Coral Cup in 1999? That's a bit of a headache handicap, that, isn't it? But looking at that later on as well, in terms of thoughts towards that race. Let's move on to question number five. And between 1983 and 1990, 3 horses won the Queen Mother Champion Chase on multiple occasions. Name them. Between 1983 and 1990, 3 horses won the Queen Mother Champion Chase on multiple occasions. Name them. One of them won it 3 times in a row, and the other 2 won it 2 years consecutively. Just to make you, that's inclusive of 1983 and 1990. So between 1983 and 1990, inclusive, 3 horses won the Queen Mother Champion Chase on multiple occasions. Name them. Okay. Question number 6. In 2002 and 2003, which two horses finished second and third in the champion chase in both years behind Flagship Oberalice in 2002 and Moscow Flyer in 2003? So in 2002 and 2003, which two horses finished second and third in the champion chase in both years behind Flagship Oberalice in 02 and Moscow Flyer in 03? I was rich, see, that the early 2000s. Well, the Queen Mother Champion Chase has always been a fantastic race and thrown up some great horses over the past. But I always think around about that time there was some great horses going head to head, or some of the times it was 3 or 4 horses in it, and with a really good chance. And we've seen either some great finishes or some masterminded, for example, a few years back was mind-blowing performance. Right, question number 7. Here's another great champion. In 2015, Sprinter Sacra was pulled up before the last, but which Paul Nicholls trained horse went on to win? In 2015, Sprinter Sacra was pulled up before the last, but which Paul Nicholls trained horse went on to win? Of course, Sprinter Sacra did come back and claim that emotional victory after that. One of the true greats. Again, when seeing him win round there in sparkling fashion when he was in his pomp was some spectacle. But anyway, in 2015, which Paul Nicholls trained horse went on to win? Paul Nicholls got a good record in the race as well. Right, let's move on from the Queen Mother Champion Chase. Question number 8. Tiger Roll today is going for his 4th win in the cross country. Which other 2 festival races has he won? Tiger Roll today is going for his 4th win in the cross country. But which other 2 festival races has he won? Of course, multiple Grand National winner as well. We will not be seeing him at Aintree this year. This looks set to be his last race. An absolute legend. And it's a shame the way things have panned out over the past couple of years with him in terms of all this nonsense about the handicap mark that he's got for the Aintree spectacle. So I just feel Connections have made a right spectacle of themselves with regards to taking them out of the Aintree race. The Grand National is just mental. Right, question number 9. Which jockey partnered Nick's Sensation to success in the 2015 Grand Annual, winning for his brother, who was a winning trainer, and actually completing what was a bit of a dynasty in this race for this family overall? So which jockey partnered Nick's Sensation to success in the 2015 Johnny Henderson Grand Annual, winning for his brother, who was the winning trainer? And as I said, completing a bit of a dynasty for this family in this particular race. Okay, so that's question 9. And your final question this morning, question number 10. Willie Mullins has won the champion bumper 11 times. Ruby Walsh has partnered 3 of those horses to victory during that period, the last being in 2013 on which horse? Willie Mullins has won the champion bumper 11 times. Ruby Walsh has partnered 3 of those horses to victory during that period, the last being in 2013 on which horse? Considering Ruby's not generally, particularly in the later stages, gets first choice, not even second choice in a lot of the bumper horses. And I do remember in that particular year that he last won it for Mullins. I actually backed the horse, and I think it was around about 33-1, 25-1. And yeah, he came home to victory. But which horse was it? Okay, right, so that's the end of the quiz. As I say, you can wind it back and have a look over it. I'll give you the answers coming up in a couple of minutes. So you can, take a bit of time, pause it and think over your answers before they come up. Right, let's take a look at how things went yesterday. In the 1:30 yesterday, the Supreme, the opening race, had John Bond and Mighty Potter. But listen, Constitutional Hill was outstanding. I don't think there's anything that can be said about it. It was a shame Dysart Dynamo fell when it did, but I don't think it would have been anywhere near constitutional. Absolutely unbelievable performance by the Nicky Henderson trained runner, and Nico de Boinville was a passenger really, but he kept the horse in a good place. And John Bond, I don't know, maybe a step up and trip for that horse. But was best of the rest, and I did have a feeling getting into the race. Constitutional Hull does look the better one. Mighty Potter made a terrible blunder down the back, and that put paid to his chances, and eventually was actually pulled up, which was understandable. In the Arkle, Edward Stone got first victory. Absolute diamond of a horse, has had a great season for Alan King and Tom Cannon. The jockey had a bit of a scare obviously early on in the race when the horse fell in front of him, but he managed to sidestep that, and that just shows you how nimble the horse is. Looks superb jumping over a fence, and even going to the last, I thought he just changed stride a little and just got over that fence beautifully and up the hill. Fantastic performance for Edward Stone. In the Ultima Handicap Chase at 250, Kilteely Briggs was running well, and then just tired near the end. Death Duty came on, finished 7th, which if you were each way with a certain bookmaker like Sky Bet, you would get paid out with that. But Corrick Rambler, the Scottish element obviously with that, winning for Lucinda Russell and Derek Fox. Superb ride from Derek Fox, I have to say. Didn't look comfortable out the back, but sometimes kind of reminds me of Lucinda's other horse, Big River, that she has, who used to do that, would sit out the back and then make a late play. But yeah, you could just see going to the second last that he was coming there, and he was there, and so good work there. 10-1 that was, so hope you got on. In the Champion Hurdle, superb performance again by Honeysuckle. Looked as good a winner again of this race. Unbeaten mare. She looks sensational. Epitant ran a blinder as well. Both the mares did. My tip, Tommy's Oscar, just outclassed in the end. I think that was always a bit of the worry going into it, and it just shows maybe there isn't a lot of depth for the British 2 mile division. Tommy's Oscar has done well, and okay, that's not the Fighting Fifth or the Christmas Hurdle that he's been running in, some of the more lesser Grade 2 races that he's done well in, but he has won them very comfortably. But yeah, it was too much for him yesterday. In the 410, I spoke about Stormy Island. I thought he ran okay. I just thought it was a bit of a muddling race, the Mayor's Hurdle. And it just turned into, it looked like it was set up for a horse to come off the pace, and that's what Marie's Rock did. But Stormy Island finished 4th. A good effort. The 450, a lot of the work they're talking into it was Gaelic Warrior for Willie Mullins. Thought he ran well, but I was against him. That's why I put up Brazil yesterday as an each way shot at it. I think it was just inexperience in the end that showed for Gaelic Warrior. He looked the winner going to the last, jumped out to his right, and that gave Brazil a chance to have a nibble back at him, and he done really, really well. Stuck his neck out, and I just think that wee bit more experience round that Brazil possessed that showed in the end. And in the final race, the National Hunt race, it really was a head-to-head. And I'd fell down the side of Statler. And it was Run Wild Fred that he was up against it there. But it jumped in the second last. He just powered up that hill under Patrick Mullins and was a winner at 2-1, if you got that. So that was yesterday's tips, which did pretty well. 4 winners there. Let's take a look at today. And we'll start off with that Ballymore. Sir Gerhard's going to be is the odds-on favourite, but I think Paul Nicholls' Stage Star has a chance. Won the Charlo at Newbury. Again, you're up against Irish horses, but I think Paul had a good horse that finished, I think, 3rd third in the Fred Winter. So, I think his horses are running well, and I think Stage Star could definitely run into a place in this one. So Stage Star each way. In the 210, the Brown Advisory, Ahoy Senor has been a horse I've followed for a long time. Last year, in particular when it won at Ayr and then went on to win that grade one at Aintree over hurdles. He's taken to novice chasing very well after a blunder at Carlisle in his opening race. He bounced back to form at Newbury in outstanding style. Took on Brave Man's Game, who's going to face again today at Kempton. And I don't know, just never suited him. Kempton made a few really bad blunders. Brave Man's Game was a great winner. It's different, completely different track today at Cheltenham. A bit of a sharper trip, even though it's over 3 miles, but round the old course. I'm hopeful of a big run from Ahoy Senor. I'm just a little bit concerned about the track itself, whether it really suits him. But I think as a horse that I've backed already to win next year's Gold Cup, I know, at 33-1, I think he needs that experience around Cheltenham, and I think he'll only benefit out of today's run, whether he wins or not. But I think he'll be there at the end. But I really like the home press, the Venetia Williams horse, especially if some of that rain comes. I think it might help them. Few surprised that he's not went for the turners, but they feel the step up and avoiding Bob Ollinger in that race and Galloping Deschamps is fair enough. But I think he has a real good chance. 250, that Coral Cup. I've picked out a couple. Gowl Road for the Twiston Davises. It'd be great for a local winner, wouldn't it? And he's a consistent enough handicapper who is in there with a real chance. Same with Gary Clamorn, who I backed last time out. Was it Ascot? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it ran well to finish second or third there, but placed. I think he can do it again. And won at a bigger price from Gordon Elliott, commander of Fleet. Just dropped down the weights. I think he could run well at a bigger price, around about 40-1. So all of them each way. Now, the Queen Mother Champion Chase, Shishkin, I think, is an absolute star. And Ergamine is another quality animal. There's no doubt about it. In terms of value and having a punt on this, Nubi Negra, I think, has a great chance of doing that. Put the kettle ons back in here, but this is a much, much tougher assignment than what we've seen last year. Envoyer and Alain was coming into last year's Cheltenham as one of the big stars and one of the hot favourites, and it's not really went well since then. I don't know, I'm just going to have a punt here on this and think that hopefully there's still a big, big run in there. I'm not saying about, taking on Shishkin and an Ergamine, but if it can, get back to some of that form that's seen him run well previously at Cheltenham, it's in with a chance. At a big price, 18-1 or so, he finished third, which you might be looking at here, is what I'm thinking. Right, the 4:10, the cross country, it would be great for Tiger Roll to sign off with a victory. It just comes alive around here. Last year, there was a lot of doubts as to whether or not he could retain that form after a disappointing season it was. He's not had a great season this season, that's for sure, but he comes alive at Cheltenham, and he also around these cross-country fences. David Russell on board, so it would be a great thing for him to go and win. I do like Brahma Bull. I actually like Brahma Bull for the Grand National, in fact. And I know there's a bit of rain about, and I think he runs on good ground, it likes a bit of spring ground, and I think this will be a good prep for him for going into Aintree, where I hope he still takes up his entry for the Grand National, because I think he's in with a good shout for that. Okay, moving on to the 450, the Johnny Henderson Grand Annual. Andy Dufresne is a horse that I've always liked, and again, I would be looking at him putting in a big performance as well. So Andy Dufresne to win, but won it each way. Alexia Dunui, consistent horse. This always gives a good running, and in this race, I think it might just suit him that he could get himself into a place. And looking at the Champion Bumper, as I said in the quiz, it's a race that's been dominated by Willie Mullins down the years, and Facile Vega looked really outstanding at Leopardstown. At the back end of January, wasn't it, in the Dublin Festival? Could easily be anything, but as has been shown for Willie Mullins, it's not always his favourite that goes on and wins it. In fact, most of the time it isn't. He's had some big price winners down the years. As recently, I remember Relegate winning under Kate Walsh at a big price, and James's Gate might just have that similar type of chance at a bigger price. He has had one run in a bumper and one. You just don't know until they come into this. But Willie Mullins hasn't. He's spoke very positively about all of these runners in the bumper. Facile Vega looks the real classy one, but as we've seen in the past, one can come out and step up and improve, and James's Gate might be that one. Okay, right, let's get back to the quiz and your answers. Let's fire through these. So the quiz answers. Question number 1. I'll get to what I should do here is, instead of it being I'll do that. There we go. I just made a wee change there, so the numbers appear rather than bullet points. Right, question 1 was jockey Charlie Swan won what is now known as the Ballymore Novices Hurdle 3 times in the 90s. On which horses? They were Danoli in 94, Uraband in 96, and of course the great Istabrak in 1997, who went on to win the Champion Hurdle, of course, 3 times. Question 2, Nicky Henderson has only won the Ballymore on one occasion, that was back in 2012. With which horse? That was Simon Sig. Question 3, in 2012 and 2013, the winners of the RSA, now known as the Brown Advisory, provided the following year's winners of the Gold Cup. Name both horses. They were Bobsworth and Lord Windermere. Of course, Gold Cup winners after that. Question 4, which now retired flat jockey who started in National Hunt Race and won the Coral Cup in 1999 on board Kirawani. That was, of course, Fran Berry. Who's a good pundit on racing TV now. Question number 5. Between 1983 and 1990, 3 horses won the Queen Mother Champion Chase on multiple occasions. Name them. They were Badsworth Boy, Pearly Man, and Barnbook again. They are Badsworth Boy, of course, winning it 3 times. The other 2 winning it twice. Question 6. In 2002 and 2003, which 2 horses finished second and third in the Champion Chase on both years, behind Flagship Our Alice in 02 and then on behind Moscow Flyer in 03? They were Native Upmanship and Senkos. I always said Senkos, but it's Senkos. So that's your answer there. Question 7. In 2015, Sprinter Sacra was pulled up before the last, but which Paul Nicholls trained horse went on to win on that occasion? That was, I've not put the answer in there, which is a bit silly of me. Should always check these, Gary, before you do it. It was, of course, Dodging Bullets that was the winner there on that occasion. Dodging Bullets. Right, question 8. Tiger Roll today is going for his 4th win in the cross country. Which other 2 festival races has he won? They, of course, are the Triumph Hurdle back in 2014 and the National Hunt Challenge Cup in 2017, where I was there and forgot, just never backed it for some stupid reason. Anyway, question 9. Which jockey partnered Nick Sensation to success in the 2015 Grand Annual, winning for his brother, who was the winning trainer? That was Tom Scudamore, who, of course, won it for his brother Michael. And that completed a bit of a dynasty because the father, Peter, had won the race and also Tom's grandfather, Michael, as well. And question 10. Willie Mullins has won the Champion Bumper 11 times. Ruby Walsh has partnered 3 of those horses to victory, the last being in 2013, on which horse? That was Briar Hill, who won at about 25 to 1. And then was My Big Horse the following year for that. I think, did he go for... Was it the Bartlett? I think he went for the Albert Bartlett, didn't he? But... I think he ended up, he failed, didn't he? And he got an eye injury, I'm sure. But yeah, one of those horses I thought, this horse could go and be something really special. It sadly never worked out that way. Right, okay, so that is your quiz for Cheltenham Day 2, folks. I hope it's a profitable day, just like yesterday was. And best of luck to you. I'll be back tomorrow with your Cheltenham Day 3 quiz, relating to questions about the Ryanair, of course, and the Stairs Hurdle, and my thoughts on that day's racing. So, best of luck to you, folk. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a cracker of a day. See you soon. Bye bye.